Hey guys, welcome back to Phil Plays. I'm Phil, and I'm going to go on another rant. And as you can tell by the thumbnail on this video, it's about live service games and how they are trash. So, live service games have definitely become a more popular thing recently. I feel like we can't go a year without so many more games coming out as live service. And when I hear the words live service, to me, that translates to unfinished game, lazy design, and a crap ton of microtransactions or some type of way to just nickel and dime you for everything. Now, that's not the case with every single game, but let me tell you a couple of games that have come out recently that are absolute dumpster fires because they forced live service things into the game that really shouldn't have been. You got the really famous ones like Fallout 76, an MMO style Fallout, which was bare bones content in the beginning, but they were like, oh, we'll add stuff in later, The game was incredibly bare bones. They wanted you to essentially make your own fun. And there just wasn't a whole lot of stuff to do. You got other things like Anthem, which were a giant lie through all the marketing, barely had any content, barely had any loot, which is a foundation of a looter shooter, is the loot. And essentially they promised after a while that they would rebrand the game as, Anthem 2.0 and update a lot of things. That didn't happen because EA decided to say, screw it. There's too much, it's gonna cost us too much money to revamp this game, we're just dropping it. So all those people that spent over like $100 on a collector's edition, DLC packs, they just basically said screw it. So the game is essentially dead. I believe games like Battleborn were a live service as well, and I honestly loved Battleborn, and unfortunately because it came out around the same time as Overwatch, it died out. And it's one of those games that for some reason, Gearbox is like, this game needs to be 100%. Sorry for the cat's tail there. Buddy, you want to say hi to the public? Yeah. But for some reason, Gearbox was like, you know what? We could make this a standard game, it doesn't need to require online, always connection, and that'd be fine. No, the game was entirely online only, and once they decided to drop it, it's a dead game. It's officially a dead game. I have a sealed copy of it on my shelf downstairs that I got because it was $5. I thought, hey, why not? And I can never play that game because it has to be connected to Gearbox servers. So regardless, sorry, I got into a rant there. I really like Battleborn. I like Overwatch. I think Battleborn, in my opinion, was the better game. But anyway, you got Marvel's Avengers, a story-driven game about the Marvel superheroes, the Avengers, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, which is a cool concept. But Square Enix decided, you know what, we want our own Destiny, we want our own Division, so let's force those microtransactions and live services in there, and guess what? That game is essentially dead. The game is a joke. I played it. I didn't do any of the endgame stuff because it was not fun. You have games like I said, The Division, Destiny 1 and 2. And the new Assassin's Creed game coming out is also going to be a live service game where they're just kind of going to be constantly updating it with new story content. And Ubisoft is just making a lot of horrible decisions right now. So, but of course, the two biggest ones right now are Battlefield 2042 and Halo Infinite. And when I mean by Halo Infinite, I mean its multiplayer side. Both of these games are dying, are damn near close to dead. More so Battlefield 2042. I play a couple live service games, I don't really love the idea of it because I feel like in most cases, live service games come out and they're unfinished, they're unpolished, and there's just bare bones content there. And they sell you on, oh, don't worry, we'll release more in the future for free. How about you just release the game when it's finished? What happened to that concept of we work hard for a couple of years, we make a game, and we release it when it's done? Not, hey, we're like 60% done with the game, so here you go, and then we'll just give you more later. And sometimes that doesn't even happen. I miss it. Gaming is going in a bad direction because it keeps trying to add live service content into games that really don't need it. There was actually a quote by an Ubisoft employee basically stating, why don't we focus on making amazing, spectacular, story-driven blockbuster games? That's a great way to make money. Nah, game companies don't want to do that because that's more difficult. They want to take the easy route with loot boxes, NFTs, and live service microtransaction bullshit. Now, what I was talking about Battlefield 2042 is the game is damn near unplayable. The game just, it doesn't work. Shooting in the game works part of the time. Character models are just freaking out. There's barely any content there. The scoreboard's not even there. And they're delaying an update to add a scoreboard. How does that make sense? It doesn't. The game was unfinished back in October when people said, don't release it, the game's not ready because of the horrible demo they put out. And they're like, oh no, this is old build, don't worry, it'll work. No. And the EA decided to say, it's like, hey, we're not releasing a story mode in this game because we want to go back to Battlefield's roots and make it an amazing multiplayer experience. So no campaign, but we're also going to charge you $10 more because fuck it, we're EA, we want money. So not only were you paying more money for a game, to me, which is less content, because if a game doesn't have a story mode, it should not be at full price. If it's a multiplayer only game, it should not be $60 or $70. To me, that is a $40 game. To be honest, I think $30 is more acceptable. And I said that like a long time ago in my not my Cyberpunk, my Overwatch review. And anyway, sorry, I'm gonna go on another rant there, but the game's out. And of course, they were probably thinking, EA executives were thinking, you know what, we'll just release the game now, let's get all that money from people buying the game in the first round, and then we'll just fix it later, I feel like that's been happening so much more frequently in the last few years that gamers are sick of it. Like, we're not gonna accept that. Oh, you release a game in an unfinished state? Cool, we want our money back, and we will buy it when it is finished. And then at that point, you better have a discount for it. It's like they don't pay game testers to test that the game works. And if they do, they don't listen to the game testers because no tester in their right mind would be like, oh yeah, this is fine. This totally works. Live services require, constant content. Constant, fun, engaging stories, content, good loot, something that's going to make you want to keep playing the game. But when you release games like Battlefield 2042, the game is so broken, why would anybody play it? And the few good things you add on are or just the things that people find and exploit that make the game fun, you take away because you don't want them to go through all the bullshit, avoid and surpass all the bullshit grinding, the artificial grinding, mind you, that you've added into the game to make them play longer. That's not okay. A lot of these gaming companies, because when they realize they've made a game with very small amount of content, they realize that they have to artificially lengthen the game by just making it difficult, making grinding for XP very slow. Item progression, looting is just very hard and slow, and it's just something to make the game longer, to make you feel like you're getting the most out of your money that you put into this game. And a lot of times these same games will say, hey, it's really, really hard to unlock this thing that you're looking to get while playing the game, solely through playing the game. Or you could spend like $5 and unlock it right now. That's not okay. They're basically trying to incentivize you, hey, spend money on this. I know a lot of live service games are free, and I can expect that. I can understand that. If a game is free, it's got to make its money somewhere. But then when I buy a game that's for $60 or $70, and I feel like I'm not able to unlock any of the content in there unless I'm paying more money, that's wrong. And that kind of falls into the Halo Infinite the Halo Infinite multiplayer. You know what? After the shitty Call of Duty, another shitty Call of Duty, after the disastrous Battlefield launch, Halo comes out, and the first week or so, everyone is loving it. Everyone's saying this is one of the greatest Halo games we've had. The multiplayer is really fun. It's engaging. I was really excited to play it myself, and when I logged in and I saw the first thing they said was, "Hey, we got a battle pass. Come buy it. Help unlock stuff." And I'm not somebody who buys battle passes. You know, a lot of the free live service games I play, personally, I play Pokemon Unite with my brother, and that is another mid to bad live service game. But I don't buy battle passes. I think it's stupid, you know? If I love the way the game is, like the gameplay is, if I'm having a lot of fun just playing the game, I'll drop some money, you know? That's not a big deal. I'll drop a couple bucks here and there, you know, to, you know, give you support. But when I started playing a couple hours in, and I realized I hadn't even leveled up once, I'm like, okay, I'm not doing terrible. I'm not like the worst in my on my team, I'm pretty sure, but I wasn't ranking up. And so I started seeing seeing other people post online that the game progression, the level progression in Halo Infinite was terrible because you only leveled up by completing challenges, not just by being good at the game, which is another dumb thing they do in live service games. Because as soon as I realized, oh, you're getting the Halo multiplayer for free, like I thought you had to pay for like $60. I got the campaign and the multiplayer. But when they released the multiplayer for free early, I was like, oh, I'm excited but also scared, because why would they release it? Why would they release the multiplayer for free? So the campaign alone is going to cost $60, and that's ended up what happened was that they charged $60 for the campaign. And the longer the game went on, and the weeks after its launch, people started picking up on the bullshit that the game was not designed really for you to play the game. That the game was designed for you to jump through hoops and complete challenges to unlock very mediocre content, like very stupid shaders for a singular set of armor, not very cool looking armor pieces, icons, emblems, fucking cat ears for Halo, like for your Spartan. But then all the really cool stuff was set aside in packs you could buy, which are outrageously overpriced. And it was like $9 for cat ears, fucking $15 for the color blue for an armor set, or your Warthog. Stuff like that, that's stupid. It's the same problem that I have with Pokemon Unite, where they have a bunch of skins for their Pokemon, for the Pokemon you can play as, but you can only earn them with actual money. You cannot, you don't even earn them. You can only acquire them with actual money. You can't play the game and be good and get points and credits to buy those skins. And the skins cost anywhere from about $8 to $40. Sorry, I just kind of went from Battlefield to Halo to Unite, but it all kind of just goes to show that live service games are grindy, boring, lazy, and more companies are starting to go that route. You know, Halo is gonna die. I probably believe in the next couple weeks, if not in the next couple months, it will be a dead game unless they really substantially add more content into it. And it needs to be free content. None of this pay bullshit. You put your multiplayer out for free. No one's gonna play it if they don't feel rewarded. Same thing with Battlefield. No one's gonna play your game unless the game actually freaking works. And the fact that they're even thinking about making Battlefield free to play, and all those people that spent money on the game, what did they get? Did they get refunds for spending over $100 for some people on the special deluxe edition? You know, when games launch and they're buggy, you know it's always perfectly working? The microtransaction store, the item store. They want to make sure they can take your money real easy, but God forbid they make their game playable and fun. Nah, it's all about that mighty dollar. And companies will eventually realize a delayed game will eventually be great. A rushed, unfinished game that is released will always be bad. There's very few stories of games recovering from this. For example, No Man's Sky. That game came out with bare bones basic content, so much stuff that we were told was an absolute lie. But years later, it's actually that game that was described. And I heard it's really good. I personally haven't played it, but I've heard a lot of really good things about it. I might try it one of these days. Get out of here, cat. Let's see, other games that just completely became fantastic after a little bit. Outriders, that game was $60, had its own story mode, which, story mode's fine. The end game content is what I liked, and the end game content was amazing that game after the 2.0 update. Destiny 1, I hated at the beginning because of all the pure... You could tell the decision to focus on the story was not there. It was the gameplay, and it just felt like a very bare bones basic vanilla template they would add to. And when they added like the Taken King expansion, that's when me and my friends really started liking it. Other great live service games that have learned to do it right. Apex Legends, League of Legends, Dota 2, CSGO, Warframe, Overwatch to a certain extent. I still hate the loot boxes. And I hate Fortnite, I really do, but you know what? I will give them credit, they have built a good model. They should make it easier to earn V-Bucks. That's one of the main reasons I don't want to play it, is just, I don't really feel like I earn anything. Games that have essentially died, or are dead on arrival at this point. Marvel's Avengers, Godfall, Battlefield 2042, even when you think about it, Cyberpunk to a certain extent, a game that was rushed out and they just said we'll fix it later. Game companies need to understand, if you want people to buy your games and you want to make a lot of money, you need to just release a finished product. Do that, and I promise you, people will buy your game and they will talk it all up and you will make so much money. Make DLC, that expands upon the story. I have bought Mass Effect, every time a Mass Effect game is re-released, I've bought them. Every time a Kingdom Hearts game is released, I've bought it because these games are fun to me. I want to support the developers. But when you make a game that is rushed, that is just barren of content, no one's gonna wanna buy it, no one's gonna wanna play it, and you're gonna be out of money. And then you're gonna bitch and complain, and but then you're gonna fire people that, did exactly what you wanted them to do. I feel like just games going forward, we need to go back to the way things were. The last 5 to 10 years have shown that as soon as you get too greedy, you destroy your game. Whatever hope a game could have had to be amazing, to be great, is ruined as soon as greed puts in. But they won't. Companies realize they make more money selling loot boxes and microtransactions and skins for the few whales, the people that for some reason have all this money that play like one game, and they spend hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars even on a game. And for us, the people that actually want games that have value and are fully complete, we're left to suffer because people like you. And I will 100%, there are people that ruin games, and it's the people that have no problem spending money, that have no standards. I refuse to spend money on Halo, in the Halo Infinite microtransaction store. They've said they're gonna look at it to try to reduce prices, but we all know they won't. Hell, fucking Battlefield 2042 said, hey, we are so sorry, we understand there's a lot of features on here that we have left out, but hey, here's a free tactical beanie. So, to us, the player base, I didn't buy 2042 because I knew it was going to be a dumpster fire. But the fact that you spent time and effort making a tactical beanie instead of adding a scoreboard, that's a giant fuck you to the fans. But hey, that's just one man's take on all this. I know this is kind of all over the place, a bit of a ramble, but I'm just tired. Gaming's going in a place that I am not okay with. And the way that this goes, honestly, I might just stop buying a whole lot of new games together. I want my games that have a complete story, beginning and end. If they have a fun end game, awesome. If they don't, if I enjoyed the story that was told, that's fine with me. But hey, like I said, that's just one man's take. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Hey guys, thank you once again so much for watching this, and thank you so much to those who have subscribed lately. It is awesome to finally see myself get over 50, and now we're at 65 at the time of this video. If we can get to 100 by the end of the year, that would be absolutely amazing. I'm putting out as much videos as I can when I have the time for my other job, but once again, thank you so much. If you want to hit that like button, if you want to tell me what is your most hated live service game, or tell me about a game that was absolutely disappointing to you recently, you know? Or a game that was amazing to you. Let me know, comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you later.